Hey, everybody, welcome in. Question for you. Several, actually. What if the problem is that, not that Christians are disconnected from God? What if the problem is that too many Christians are disconnected from each other? All right. We scroll all day, we scroll opinions, we scroll through arguments, we scroll through highlights, we scroll strangers. But what if there was a place where believers could connect with churches, Christian owned businesses, and other people of faith in their own community? And that's why today we're talking about churchscroll.com. It's a Christian community hub built to connect churches, faith aligned businesses, and believers. This site is preparing for a launch and it is inviting churches, Christian businesses, and individuals to join the Wave 1 beta. Welcome in. I'm the host of the Intentional Grounding Godcast, Letters to Isaiah. I'm your faith strategist for today. I'm here to help you live out your walk, not just believe it. All right. So, we live in this world that has never been more connected technologically. And I've never felt more disconnected spiritually. Right? You can have 5,000 followers and still feel alone. You can be in a crowded room and still feel unseen. You can watch sermons online, listen to worship music. You can post Bible verses and still feel like you do not have a true spiritual community around you. But from the very beginning, God never designed his people to walk alone. Genesis 2:18 it says, "It is not good that man should be alone." Now, yes, I mean that verse is often taught in the context of marriage, but the principle here is bigger than marriage. God looked at isolation and said, that is not good. Not because Adam was weak or Adam was failing or Adam didn't love God, right? Adam had perfect fellowship with God and God still had human connection, right? That mattered. That ought to wake us up. Some of us have spiritualized our isolation. We say things like, it's just me and God, or I don't need people. I've been hurt by church people. I worship better by myself. And listen, I understand that. Church hurt is real. Disappointment, it's real. People can wound you deeply, right? But isolation is not healing. Isolation feels safe because nobody can hurt you there. But the same walls that keep pain out also can keep healing out, right? Hebrews 10:24-25 says, and let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, but encouraging one another. That word consider, it matters. It means we're supposed to think about how to encourage each other. We're supposed to be intentional about our community, not accidental, not casual, not only when it's convenient, intentional. That's why a platform like churchscroll.com matters, guys. I mean, it's being built as a Christian community hub where people can connect churches, faith aligned businesses, and believers in your area across the country. Man, it's not just technology, it's a tool, right? And tools are powerful when they're used for kingdom purpose, right? We support everything except the kingdom. Let me step on some toes here for a second. Like, we search online for a restaurant, we'll search online for a mechanic or for a gym, online for entertainment. We search online for new phone cases, new shirts, new coffee spots, a new place to vacation. But how often do we intentionally search for Christian community? How often do we intentionally support Christian owned businesses? How often do we intentionally connect with churches beyond Sunday morning? How often do we say, Lord, where are your people in my area? Who can I support that is trying to honor you? right? What church needs encouragement? What ministry needs visibility? What believer is trying to build something faithful? And can I help them by simply showing up? Man, that is conviction right there. Because faith, it's not just what we say we believe, faith is what we prioritize. James 2:17 says, faith by itself, if it doesn't have works, is dead. It doesn't mean work saves us, right? It means that real faith moves, real faith responds, it shows up, real faith supports, real faith connects. Listen, Church Scroll as a modern day marketplace of faith, poof, in the early church days, believers didn't just gather for worship. They shared, right? They shared resources, they broke bread together, they cared for needs, they knew who was amongst them, right? Acts 2 said, and they devoted themselves to the apostles, teaching the fellowship, to the breaking of the bread and of the prayers, right? Notice that teaching, fellowship, breaking bread, prayer. That's a full picture of Christian community right there, right? It wasn't just content, it was a connection, right? And that's where I see the heart behind churchscroll.com. All right. The website, it's currently inviting 3 groups to sign up for its launch: Christian businesses, churches, and individuals. Christian business, like they can list their businesses. Churches can add themselves to the directory. Individuals can join the community directory. That means it's not just about finding a church, it's about building a faith aligned network. It's a place where churches can be discovered. It's a place where churches and Christian business owners can be supported, right? It's a place where believers can connect locally in a time, friends, where division is real loud. We need our connections to be louder, right? Here's the reality right now: somebody out there is looking for a church. Doesn't matter where, what part of the country are you in, right? Somebody is looking for a Christian counselor. Somebody's looking for a faith based business. Somebody is new in town and doesn't know where to go. Somebody wants community, but they don't know how to start, right? Somebody has been burned before and is afraid to walk back into a church. Somebody owns a Christian business and wants to serve with integrity, but at the same time, they need to know, they need others to know that they exist. I don't know. Maybe somebody pastors a small church and needs visibility. There's your answer. Or somebody is praying and saying, like, God, please connect me to the right people. And maybe Church Scroll becomes one of the tools that God uses to answer that prayer. So stop seeing Christian connections, friends, as optional. Start seeing it as spiritual infrastructure. You need people, you need prayer, you need encouragement, you need accountability, you need a place to serve, right? You need a place to be sharpened. Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. Friends, iron cannot sharpen iron from a distance forever. At some point, that connection, it matters. Community matters. Showing up, it matters. Listen, if you quit building Christian communities at this point, you may stay uncomfortable, right? But comfort is not the same as growth. You may avoid church hurt, but you may also miss church healing. You may avoid disappointment, but you may also miss divine appointments. And you might protect yourself from people, but I'm telling you, you may isolate yourself from the very people that God wanted to use to strengthen you. Don't let the past wounds rob you of your future or your future community, right? Now, my grandson's probably listening to this one day, and he needs to understand faith is never meant to be hidden in private corners. Faith is supposed to be visible through love, through service, through courage, connection, right? Jesus said in John 13, by this, all people will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. Not if you have the best logo, not if you have the biggest platform, not if you have the loudest opinion. Love one another. That means people should be able to see how we support each other, how we encourage each other, how we serve each other, how we build together. And maybe part of the legacy that we leave is not just what we believed, but who we helped connect, right? Man, Isaiah, I want you to know that growing up, you can be walking with Jesus and it's personal, but it's not meant to be lonely. Right? There are going to be seasons where you feel like you can do everything by yourself, and seasons where you think strength means not needing anybody. But real strength means knowing when to reach out. Real faith knows how to walk with others. And I pray that you find churches that teach truth. I pray that you find friends who sharpen your spirit. And I pray you support people who are trying to honor God with their work. I pray that you become the kind of man that doesn't just ask, what can I get? But asks, who can I encourage? Because the kingdom of God is not built by spectators, it's built by servants. And when God places faithful people around you, do not take them for granted. Pray for them, support them, show up for them, and become the kind of believer someone else is grateful that they found. I love you, buddy. Oof, that last part got me there. So today we talked about connection. We talked about community. We talked about the dangers of isolation. We talked about Hebrews 10, reminding us not to neglect gathering together. We talked about Acts 2, showing us a church that was devoted to teaching and fellowship, breaking of the bread and prayer. We talked about churchscroll.com, right? A Christian community hub preparing to launch, guys, ground floor, like designed to connect churches, Christian business owners, and believers. So, man, I'm asking you today, please go to churchscroll.com, have a look around, get signed up. If you're a Christian business owner, list your business. If you're part of a church, get your church connected. If you're an individual believer, join the community. Listen, don't just scroll the world, man. Start scrolling with purpose. Scroll to churchscroll.com. Be part of wave one, man. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. Until next time, Coach Dombrowski out. You know I'm going to be praying for you. You know, I really do appreciate it. If this episode hit with you today or met you where you are on a deeper level, seriously, I'd be honored to hear your story. If you need help with getting connected to churchscroll.com, message me through the fan mail. Man, send this message to somebody else who might need to hear it too. You never know who's waiting on a word just like this.